We're live.
Live from Secaucus, New Jersey.
It's Carbo and Anthony's
Woohoo!
Selling Heroes.
And shooting villains.
Yay. So guys,
There we go.
I'm Anthony Snyder.
And I'm Mike Carbonaro. Carbo for short.
And this is the lovely Sharon Millie, the model.
Hi, everybody.
Our lovely assistant.
Hi.
Yay.
Everyone out there. And yes, we want you to engage and send us your notes and whatever, and we will talk back to you. We want to chat with you online. So
Yes.
what is this show about, Anthony?
Well, it's about how we've managed to make a living buying and selling collectibles and pursuing our passion with the stuff we love and supporting ourselves and our families.
Eating,
with it.
sleeping, and breathing comic books, collectibles, and the stuff that dreams are made of?
Yes, absolutely. And the stuff that movies are made of.
Oh yeah, that's right. Now, yeah, they went from the stuff dreams to movies,
That's
which
awesome.
is that's what movies are—an extension of your dreams or somebody's dream.
Yeah.
In many ways.
No, I always say the dream of the comic book artist was the bastion of imagination, but now the movies have caught up.
There's a great Robert Altman quote that I read, the director Robert Altman. He said, I wish I could just wake up one morning, have the camera crew ready, and go out and shoot my dream.
Well,
as long as I can remember it. I think didn't
he do that?
No,
With,
I don't know if he did. Well, some of his movies seemed like they did
Yeah,
that, but
he
you know,
just
the
kinda
ones
did.
that weren't as good as like MASH or Nashville and things like that.
Yeah,
but
Nashville is very much like that. Where it just
Quintet
kind of-
with Paul Newman. Okay, anyhow, so what else is this show about? We have lots of interesting stories to tell you. I am reading it from our copy. We're trying to create the mission statement, the full idea and scope of what this is going to be about, because we're here for good, for better or for worse. You want to watch us? Come on down, come on over, sell us your stuff, tell us about your stuff, whatever. But it's stories to tell you from all my 50 plus years of buying and selling collectibles.
Does that mean I'm married to you and her?
Yeah, well, I guess that's it. The annulment comes in 1,000 days. Okay?
Okay.
We have all these stories that I've got, and we want to show you how to make money too. It's real easy these days, especially with these comics. I mean, I can't even buy them for the so-called market value, and they're selling above.
Right,
These number one
Marvel
Marvels.
number ones. You go to
And-
Con last week, you can't even buy Marvel number ones for what market is. Everybody wants a head of market.
Right.
Like, I need
And
$500 more, $1,000 more.
I've got a friend of mine. I was hoping he would commit to it today, but he didn't. A good friend of mine who has a 6.0 Spider-Man #1, and I believe he's either going to bring it on or he's going to call it in, and you and I are going to compete for that next week. Amazing Spider-Man #1.
What about that guy in South Jersey that has 7.0 Spidey?
Ooh, yeah. I don't know if he'll call us, but we should. We should get him to call.
Try.
Okay, so we have all these stories, but what I really want to talk to you guys about and show you, and I'm going to show you with my own money, okay, that I'm going to starting the next episode, I'm actually going to buy comics from you directly and show you how some of them you probably shouldn't even sell. Okay, so we're going to show you what to do, and we're going to give a little a graph going forward as to what these comics have made and how much they make, okay? We'd want to learn about you. As I've gotten a little bit older and done more.
Alter?
Yeah, altar. Yeah. Altar on the altar of comics and collectibles.
On the altar,
altar.
of comics, Mike has been sacrificed to all those.
I want to learn about you, the collector, and what your collections are, what you've got, the stuff you've got, and the stuff that you don't want to sell, because sooner or later, you're going to sell it. You're going to either give it away, or you're going to sell it, or you're going to pass it on to some family member. So sooner or later, somebody's going to get it.
And we want to
hear about how you got it.
We're accessible. My business is 10 minutes away from here. Mike is all over, up and down the state. So we're always available to deal with your collections. And hopefully, if you're open to it, come on the show.
And tell us your stories online as well. So that's it. Okay. So here we go. What's hot in the news? The news of the day. Dun, 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 dun. Okay.
Well, I know what the hottest comic book in the country is.
Right now?
We showed you last week, and the #1 comic
is it?
in the
You
comic.
said it.
Yeah.
Predictions come true right
Yeah.
here. There you go. I didn't even realize
This is
that.
the first time
That's
Carol
awesome.
Danvers was Captain Marvel.
What's it going for now? Did it go up in the last week?
Yeah, it's
Like 25%?
raw. It's $100.
It was like it was 50 or 75. It was 75 last
It's
week.
definitely the
There you go.
#1 book
See,
in the country.
this is how you make money.
So that's the Avenging Spider-Man #9, the first Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel. Not just Ms. Marvel, they changed it as Captain Marvel. And this is a weird book.
Does that mean we're still talking about Avengers a little bit?
No, we're
I
talking
guess.
about what's hot in comics and
Right.
investing.
Avengers is still
Yeah,
hot.
that's
By
just-
the way, I just went to it again last night. I sat for the first hour. I mean, I literally just go to the theater and I spend an hour, give or take, and watch a scene. I watched that opening scene. God, it's tragic. It's tragic, that opening scene. You hear that great voiceover at the beginning of the Avengers movie. We have a rescue mission or SOS, whatever. And the next thing you know, they're on the ship and everybody's dead. There's your spoiler for the thing. It's great.
Yeah, all
you
the
know?
Asgardians.
And Thanos just pops out of the ether. It's just amazing.
And then the first one goes. Like, that's what people are really concerned most about.
Yeah.
Because we know
he broke his neck. Whole parts of his body.
Is Loki really dead in the Marvel
It's possible
Cinematic
that's what's going to happen. They're going to, the actor Tom Hiddleston is going to move on, and they're going to have I've heard the young Loki is going to appear from those stories in the back of Journey into Mystery.
Oh, yeah.
There's these great
Tales
stories.
of Asgard.
Tales, which is some of my favorite stuff. And Jack Kirby, the artist, would do 4 panels. Usually, and that was great. He was at his best when he was doing 4 panels. I mean, his splashes are amazing. But you split up the page instead of 9 panels across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 4, and the squares that these 4 are so beautiful.
Very
and those Tales of Asgard. I was always collecting that art or buying and selling that art.
You know, and it
I think it's undervalued.
It went and explored the Norse mythology and the young.
You have young Loki
Thor and young Loki,
and they're really cool. So that may be the place where it's going to go and start to tell some of those real super intense
And then they would go
backstories.
into like the history of the frost giants and the big wolf. And they use those
Searcher
in
and
the movies.
Wotan.
Yeah. They
By
use
the
those
way,
in
there's
the
a
movies.
pinball machine that I had when I was a kid. It was called Fireball. It's
Fireball.
The action one of pinball machines. It had a spinning wheel. That's how I consider it. Positively, it's the top pinball. If anyone out there has one, I want to buy it in any condition.
Mike, do we have any Fireball candy?
Oh, do we have Fireball? I think we should have some Fireballs. Here we go. Is this a Fireball?
Mike, I remember as a kid.
Economy Candy, the greatest comic book, the greatest candy store on Rivington Street in Manhattan. Okay,
Such fun
Lower East
stuff.
Side, East Village, whatever you want to call it, right off Essex. Okay, right off Essex. That's the big avenue right there. Economy Candy is great. They got all kinds of old stuff on the walls.
Yum.
And there you go. Great stuff.
Old-fashioned stuff.
Okay, so
And
we
the
were
Clark
talking.
bar.
Oh, there goes the Fireball. It's going
My
on.
name is Anthony Clark Snyder. There's a story behind that, but I hope you
People
enjoyed
call
my
us
Clark
nerds,
bar.
and I guess I'm going to have some nerds right now.
So we're talking about
We were trying to talk about something. Oh, Fireball. Now,
the pinball machine,
Fireball. Listen,
which is
I
an
have
aside.
a Fireball story. Let me get this in.
Great.
My dad was great friends with the owner of the Stardust, and they had a
Jimmy the Greek Snyder.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, there you go.
Move over
Awesome.
a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah.
All right, the Legend of Jimmy the Greek. We have those. And the first guy that calls in and says Mike's middle name wins Jimmy
Anthony.
the Greek.
Yay.
No, anyway. So one day I walk in there, and they had just put the entire game room was Fireball pinball machines.
Oh my God, where was this?
Yeah, in Las Vegas.
Is there a
where I
picture of
was.
that anywhere?
No.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, a
amazing.
room full of fireball. We have to
entire room.
recreate that. Let's make a movie and use that as the opening scene someday.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's any young and inspiring or old and uninspired or re-inspired movie artists, directors, or would-be, wanna-be, could-be directors, I want to create that scene. I want to recreate it. Let's make it. Call me. We'll put it together one day. I want to do that. That's awesome. And that's it. I just saw a store the other day. I was in Williamsburg, and it was a coffee shop. No, it was a laundromat, I think. And it was like half pinball machines and half laundromat. It was crazy. They were
That's
incorporated into it.
That
You
was
could
fun.
play them. Okay, so we were talking about Fireball,
I'm
and that
gonna-
has to
do
do
you
with
want
the
me to bring
Kirby
in my
art.
pinball
But the
machines?
reason that's connected to the Kirby art is because Searcher, who's the character, the Frost Giant, in the Tales of Asgard story, is in the Fireball machine. Searcher and Wotan and Odin.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
true.
Odin too. So they used that Norse mythology.
But not the Marvel versions,
well,
just their versions.
I don't know, because the artwork from that was very, very similar to the Kirby versions of that. They probably kind
I
of
remember pretty
assimilated
specifically.
it or used the
they
style
would
of it,
use-
but it was
they would
very
use
similar.
Marvel artists for those backlashes.
Yeah, so
yes,
I got to get
but-
the full story on that, but never to West Fireball. So we're talking about the Kirby art, which I think Tales of Asgard is a good investment.
Well, it's a lot less inexpensive than main story art stuff.
Yeah.
So and a lot of times, it'll be younger Thor with those background stories, which he explored, and they were background stories. Remember they were background stories in Journey into Mystery.
Okay.
So, but yeah, he used a lot of 4-panel art in the pages in those, and those were really cool. I used to enjoy reading them.
And Tales from the Watcher is another backstory that's
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Okay. So we're moving on from the Avengers kind of to the next film now that's coming out next
I
week.
had a present for
and
you.
you have an interesting
I had a present for you.
celebrity that's
Infinity Bath Bomb.
Oh, I thought these were Easter eggs. That's great.
Use it in good
They're
health.
Infinity Stones.
See, we'll have a centimeter later on for you guys. But yes, thank you. Oh, this is from Marvel?
Yeah, it's
Infinity
Marvel
Bath Bomb
Infinity
stuff.
Bath
This is
Bomb
great.
set.
I love this. This is awesome. Thanks,
So
Anthony.
use that with your girlfriend.
That's really cool.
Of the week.
Yeah. No. I have one girlfriend, and by the way, she's out in California, tending to her grandma.
All right.
Hello there, Uma. How are you?
Hi, Uma.
Now, for
And her
some
friend
reason,
Hannah.
listen, the one more book that's kind of on smoldering. Somehow, Carol Danvers was.
Hold
this
on,
character,
I have to
so-
hold you for a second. We have somebody, Mr. Orgic. Hello, Orgic. How are you?
Hey.
Yes. He asked us a question. Do you send people out to check collections? 150%. If you called me right now from Alaska and told me I would be on the next plane leaving straight from Newark Airport to buy your collection. So yes. So Orgic, contact us. You
We
can
do
call
make
us
house calls.
directly. We'll come and look at your collection. And if you like, we'll do a camera thing. We'll talk about it. And we'll do a remote from your place. And we'll do it on the show if you like that. And put it on. We would love to follow up with you. Thank you for checking in with us. And any other questions during the show, we're happy to talk to you about it.
Yes.
And I promise I'll use the bath bombs before I come.
Yes.
Awesome.
Must use bath
Okay,
bombs.
so
Yes.
we got the
Or
next
you'll
Marvel
blow
movie.
away.
Speaking of that, and that is
Deadpool 2.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
the 2. Or wasn't
Yeah.
it? Isn't it 5 or 6
No, it's
already?
Deadpool 2.
Yes.
But the cool thing about that is that I work with Riley Brown, who's a great
Tootsie
Deadpool
Rolls.
artist. He was
Best.
one of his first jobs at Marvel was the Cable Deadpool issue run. And
How old is Riley Brown?
Riley?
30, 29?
30 something.
Okay.
He's
So he's a young artist,
Yeah.
and still. When did he get?
And then he's been doing spot covers and a lot of different Deadpool. He's known as a Deadpool artist. And his current project is with Fabian, the co-creator of
Fabian
Deadpool.
Nietzsche. I learned how to
easy
pronounce-
for you to say.
I spent a weekend in Las Vegas with him in 1988. It was
Wow.
fun.
Okay, so we're going to have him on next week as our first artist in residence type interview on the couch. And he's going to be doing some
Can you hear
art.
this Tootsie Roll?
Now listen,
I'm sure they
he's
can.
going to be tuned in,
I'll
and
bet.
if you want to commission him on the air to do an art piece for you, we're going to have that done too. So that's
Oh,
cool.
wow.
He's going to tell you about his run on Deadpool.
Will he do
as an
one that we
artist.
can give away to one of our viewers if they want? Well, we'll see how he feels about that.
I don't know about giving it away, but
I like
mean,
to
he
gi-
can sell it to him.
If you give it away, you get it back. You know,
It's
that's
my
the
job
saying.
to sell it. Yeah, but it's my job to sell it. I need to.
All right, so that's really cool.
make my commission.
So,
Another thing we want to institute is something that's near and dear to your heart.
Well-
is create your own comic contest.
I don't want to give it all away yet.
Okay.
So we met at a show we were at this weekend. Speaking of shows, so I guess now we can talk about shows that we did this weekend, right? Oh, I have one more thing from the news of the week, but we'll table back to that one in a second.
Okay.
Since we're on art, we're going to talk about shows. We were at the art show this weekend.
Yes, we were at
It was really cool.
Zadok and Terry's art show. That
In
they
my
put on.
hotel, I call it the
Yeah.
Hotel Pennsylvania, where the
They-
Big Apple has been run for over a dozen years.
Actually, it's 12 years later,
Yeah.
and they finally stole my idea. Because I went to Mike 10 years ago, and said, hey, we need to do an art show. And he was like,
Artwork, I want to sell comic books.
Yeah, you
You're
know how to
right.
do it. And then I went to your partner at the time and said, let's do it in New Jersey, and he was like, all right."
Well, now it's a good idea.
Now
And
it's
it's being
a good
done.
idea. Oh yeah, well 12 years ago, 10 years ago, it wasn't
Okay,
a good idea.
so the art show was great. There was like two
many
dozen dealers
Yeah,
from
too
around
many.
the country.
Yeah, and the guys flew in from Western Europe, and there were dealers from California, several of them. I know one spent some money with you on your McFarlane piece, right?
Yes, Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn.
Okay, the
McFarlane
Donnelly
Spider-Man.
brothers, Albert Moy, yourself was there.
Scott Eater.
Yeah, Scott. Oh, Scott's great. He's one of my good pals.
Yeah.
I love Scott Eater. Call out to you. I would like to speak to you. As a matter of fact, we're going to give you a call, and I'd love you to come on and bring some of your more
Esoteric stuff, yeah.
more out of the box or out of the
Yeah,
loop, out of the
esoteric.
mainstream kind of art that you have. And he has one of my favorite artists. He has a lot of art from Basil Wolverton.
Oh, yeah,
which
he's
I
got some of those
love.
ugly, yeah.
Okay, we'll talk more about him at another time. But anyhow, so
Who
Scott
else is
Eder,
there?
and then we can tell our story on how we started in the comic business.
So we did a lot
Wow,
of
I
business
started
at
you.
that show, and me and Mike did a lot of business at that show, and we're going to have that in an upcoming episode of the transactions.
Actually,
we
somebody
did at
asked
the
me if
show.
I had any art to sell, but I sold it all to you at the
Okay.
show. That was it.
That's true.
So I met this this family, and they have a 6-year-old boy, okay? And he draws art. And I said, wow, send me some samples of your art. And I got some here,
All right, let Sharon
and
hold it
we
up.
would love to
Let
bring him
Sharon
on. I
hold
thought
it up.
I actually thought the Joker was really cool. That was one of his best pieces.
Wow.
So he does really good villains. But 6 years old, he's doing that. So we're going to ask him to come on the episode, and we'd like him to talk about what he does, how he draws, why he draws, where's the inspiration come from, and maybe we can create a little story while he's here about superheroes or supervillains or whatever. So that's something we want to try and do going forward. Whether you're 6 years old or whether you're 600. Okay, like
What's
I am.
600?
There's a painting of me
No,
somewhere
you're going to take a
upstairs.
zero off for you.
Yeah, okay.
Take a zero off.
2 zeros. So anyhow, I would like to, if you've got ideas that are in the fantasy and or a super comic book,
that guy?
science fiction world, we'd love to hear about it. Whether it's in comics, art, movies,
So
film,
is he
whatever.
a Queen
So-
fan? That looks a lot like
That looks like
Freddie
Craven
Mercury.
Hunters, Doctor Strange, right?
How about Freddie
I guess it is.
Mercury?
That's Tony Stark. There you go. He's got it
Tony
down.
Stark.
Tony Stark. So anyhow, we're going to follow up with that, and I'm looking forward to seeing my friend
Not bad for a 6-year-old.
Amazing.
and seeing what we can do with him. So that's that. Okay. Going back to the news of the day, this is something interesting. I hadn't read this. 2 reasons, because I didn't really want to when it first came out. But the
Yeah,
April
it kind of hits
the
near and
April
dear to
12th
our
issue of
heart.
Hollywood Reporter
Okay.
has an article here, and it's about Stan Lee, and it says Stan Lee's new villains are very, very real. So you can go to the Hollywood Reporter and check it out. They do a number of people, and of the 4 people involved in that, you have J.C. Lee, who is Joan Lee, Stan's daughter, whom I love and think is awesome. Okay? You have Max Anderson, who was his agent, who brought Stan to New York with me in 2012 and had his help been willing, I would have had him here last year. And Jerry Oliveras, who also worked with JC. So I knew all these people, and my business with them was fine. But you read the story and
There's
you'll be able to read
controversy.
between the lines and figure it out. There's always 3 sides to a story. There's yours, the person, and then there's the truth, or what could be. But anyhow, I'm going to give JC a call, and I'd love for her to come on and chat with us about all the things that she did when she was a kid and all the cool stories about Marvel and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
But we'll keep
So,
it positive and out of the controversy.
JC, if you're out there, I am calling you. You got an all-expense-paid trip to New York. Come on down. You are invited, to quote Alex from
Yay.
Clockwork Orange. Okay?
Yeah.
You are invited. Okay? All right, so there you go. That's our news of the day. The next thing we're going to do, we have the interviews. Anthony, you had an interview with Mark Texera. Is that, I think we're not going to play that this one, right?
No, I think if they got it queued up, we can run it.
Okay, if we do, that's great. Mark Texera is, I think, an absolutely wonderful artist who should be like front page and have his own comic book line.
Do you think he's a
I think-
better personality or a better artist?
He's both. He's both. Mark's great. Mark's awesome.
He's a fun guy. He's
yeah,
a great guy.
you were
to talk
chatting
to.
with him, and I was
Yeah.
emailing back and forth. I think he's in Europe now, he said, or something to that
Yeah,
effect.
I think he went to a
Paris,
show
no
in
less.
Naples or something
All
like
right,
that.
but,
These American artists are getting taken all around the world now. It's amazing.
Yeah, he said, can I come back? Can you pay for my gas? I said, gas, I'm putting you up in New York City
Yeah,
for an
we'll send
evening.
a
Come
car
on
for
down.
him.
Or
We'll get him on.
Sea Caucus. I just found out the local hotel that's here was Extended Stay Living right down
Well,
the
there
road.
used to be the art show down the road.
Oh, that's right. Well, it
that
still
was-
is coming up. There's going to be another one in
that
September
was
here. The New Jersey art show.
was over there.
Hello, Joe. And Joe is the promoter.
And
Joe Viteri.
And the former Dan Gallo, they got divorced.
Okay, well, there you go. Well, we have at least 999 days to go before our divorce happens.
Well, when I first
Here
met
we
you,
go.
it's been like 25 years, so it's like, I don't know.
Okay,
What's
okay.
25-year anniversary?
So you see, I have these socks are connected to the theme, which is kind of candy of the week, candy of the day, sugar
Does that say
daddy.
Sugar daddy?
There you go.
Sugar daddy story.
Think whatever you want from that one.
I have a
Okay.
sugar daddy
Oh,
story.
I like sugar daddy stories. Oh, I think I know what it is.
Okay. In the movie that was just featured last year, the Bobby Riggs and Billie Jean King.
Emma Stone was in it.
Yeah,
I believe
Emma
she was
Stone and Steve
nominated
Carell.
for that. Yeah.
Right? So that original setup of him having the sugar daddy thing, that was a client of my father, and he arranged that. My dad was a PR guy, so he got
Martina,
Bobby
who was the female tennis player that Bobby Riggs was matching against, that he was calling out to?
It was Bobby Riggs and Billie Jean King.
Billie Jean King, right,
Yeah.
Billie Jean King.
So
Who Emma Stone played.
Yeah, Billie Jean was at that transition period where she was just coming out in her life. So that was a big part of the movie.
Coming
was
out of the
that.
doorway?
Yeah, out of the
Coming
closet,
out.
you know, the whole works.
Okay.
So it wasn't a permissive atmosphere at the time, and so. But the one gag that I liked about that whole movie, and I wish they would actually use my father in it, was that Sugar Daddy was his client, and he got the big sucker to give to Billie Jean King. He got Bobby Riggs.
It was
to
a
give
giant sugar daddy thing like
sugar
this,
thing.
yeah.
And people remember that. And I'm kind of proud of that. And then there was a picture on the
cool.
cover of the New York Post with Steve Carell wearing that Sugar Daddy yellow jacket. And I'm like, wow, that's my dad living on, because that was his idea and his gag at the tennis match.
So I don't know if we have Mark's, but he's going to be on our episode. I've called out to my friend Billy Tucci, who is the creator of She, awesome. And we're going to be getting him on a future episode. I've been speaking to a bunch of celebrities who've been at the Big Apple conventions over the years, and they're going to be coming to the episode.
Oh, and we scheduled a remote with Neil Adams.
Yes.
So we're going to
Neil
be
Adams, one of the
taking
finest artists that there's, from his Continuity Studios
Yes,
on 39th Street in Manhattan.
We're gonna do a walk and talk at Neil's studio. We're not gonna just sit there with him. He wants to show his space, and Mike. You've had a long relationship with Neil.
I love the Adams family.
And, you love the Adams family.
They have done so much to be really
Cue Adams family
nice
music.
for me. There you go. Hey, don't we have a guitarist here who's going to come on a little bit later?
Yes.
Okay.
He's got some deals for us.
Deals
He's
of
got
the
a couple-
day?
He's got some comics and some art to show us.
Okay,
My
great.
friend Chris
So-
Palmerini, one of the few people I call my friend. Where is he? Yeah, there he is. Thank you, Chris. You're still there. Good.
All right,
Didn't run
so
away yet.
we didn't have that interview, but I think we're going to talk. I have a little kind of funny thing that happened at the last Big Apple convention. Okay, with
can play the
with the
interview.
actor Larry Storch, who was Agarn from the F Troop, the TV show from the '60s. Very funny show, kind of cool. Has a neat theme song. And I believe we're going to show that episode, and then I'm going to change T-shirts and/or shirts in between that when we find
you can change, he does have the Mark Teixeira tees. What we're going to do, because these interviews have run kind of longer than what we want to show within our hour, we're going to run a couple minutes, and then they'll be posted that you can see the things in full.
While we're waiting for that, the Big Apple, Larry Storch episode, we have a weekly trivia quiz. Ta-da! Weekly, monthly, daily. Okay, simple. What's the first appearance of Deadpool? First person to send it up, tell us, gets a free, what do they get? What do they get? You get a time bomb? No. A box of jelly rings? No, we got a comic book I can give them. Okay, you're going to get something really cool. This is well worth it. A showcase Dr. No. This is the first and only James Bond. Okay? There you go. How much is that Deadpool worth?
No,
$850.
that's a different
That's
story.
a few
We
hundred
wanna
bucks
talk
for the
about that.
for the James Bond showcase, Dr. No. So first appearance. New Mutants Night. No, not the first appearance of Deadpool. Somebody, Orgake, our friend, has said New Mutants '87. That is not the right answer, but good try. Thank you very much. You get a
Which
jelly
I
ring.
happen to have
You get
right
a free
here.
jelly ring as a bonus. Come on down and
Free
partake.
jelly ring.
I'll bring it over when we go to look at your collection.
Now,
okay?
this is what we are going to be talking about
New Mutants
next week.
'98. Yeah, '87 is the first appearance of
Cable,
which was the hottest book that was up there,
this
and then
really
nobody
came up.
really cared about Deadpool. Then somehow they kind of switched, and that became almost not so valuable at all. It went from like $100 to like $25 or.
No, this one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it was
first Cable.
Yeah.
No,
it was
this went from $50 to $500.
Yeah, but way back, this was the first hot one, then
Oh, that's
this
true,
became hot,
yes.
and then nobody cared about
Yeah,
this anymore.
yeah.
Now they're both valuable books, but this is the big one. I remember going to look at a collection when I was with Neat Stuff Collectibles, and I remember that they had boxes and boxes of New Mutants, literally 300 of each, some 600, absolute pristine mint. It was every number, and I think we made them an offer at the time of a quarter each, and they wanted 50 cents. So now that box of 300 absolute pristine mint New Mutants would have been worth $250,000 all by itself.
All 98s?
All 98s.
No
There were
way.
398. It was amazing
No
when I think back
way.
on that. So that's the power of comic books. You never ever know what comic you're going to buy in many ways. Well, now we have a little bit more of a sense of it. Oh, and speaking of news, I've heard through the grapevine that Disney had the deal to buy Fox, which is the whole Fantastic Four thing, but now there's another player in the mix. I didn't know that the deal...
Comcast wants to come in and offer more money.
So that's interesting to
that
see what
might-
happens. I don't think Disney is going to let that happen, but we'll find out as the time goes
Yeah,
on.
we'll see there.
Okay,
Disney
and that will
actually-
affect the comic books a little bit. That will affect the prices. They'll
Disney-
still be hot, but not as hot if Disney takes it and makes it what they've been doing with the Marvel and incorporates it
You know what?
correctly.
I've heard two different sides to that. Some people say, they're scared about one company consolidating all
Oh,
these
so it
characters.
might be good to
And
have another competing
and,
company
and
with
another-
with
but
interesting.
What did Comcast really give us?
I'm looking for a
besides-
sugar daddy in here, but I don't think I can find one. They
What
got the
did
Neckos.
Comcast really, how they made their money, Mike?
I don't know. I don't know how Comcast made it.
I think it was kind of, the adult channels.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the pay-per-view adult channels.
Excellent. Well, speaking of adult, you've got a comic book here.
All right, well, this
So
is something
the
I got
Underground
back
Comics,
to.
which is something we're going to have a whole episode on. That'll be one of our themes going forward. Oh, by the way, sometime in June, probably in the first couple of weeks, we're going to start to build themes for the episodes, bringing people on and connected collectibles, and we're going to start building a whole library for you to look at.
Agenda,
Yeah, going forward of celebrities,
What's gonna happen,
artists. And what we're going to be talking about
Well,
at
we
that
are
time.
really
And that way you
organized
can bring us the
about
things that you
next
have and
week.
show us your collectibles in
Okay.
between.
What we are really organized about next week is the Deadpool aspect.
Yeah,
we
we're
have
ready.
Riley on, and
Oh.
we might try
And
to get
hopefully-
Fabian to call in.
I'm going to see, I'm
It.
talking to Rob Liefeld. I put a call in. I'm hoping that he'll come on, who is the creator of.
You can't eat on camera, Mike.
Why not?
You just can't. It's a law.
Okay, we'll
It's
try and break it for this episode.
You
But
can wear the candy. You can wear this one.
Okay, but I hear
does that
you.
mean I have to swallow the bubble gum?
Yes, I hear you
Okay.
chewing.
Okay.
Okay, do you want to do the Larry Storch thing right now?
Sure.
Let's go to the Larry Storch.
Let's go to the Larry. Let's go to the F
find
group.
Larry Storch's hat.
Ta-da!
Where's the hat?
Okay.
Get the hat, Mike.
Okay. Thank you for coming, Larry. It's really cool. Okay, very, very cool, man. May I try the hat on? Is this your hat? How much for the hat? Can I buy this one?
Then we wouldn't have another one.
$50. $100. COD cash. Wow.
We couldn't sell it. Cost too much to make.
No, 200. No. Cash on the table in the hat. Done deal. Come on. He's got to sign it to Big Apple. I'll keep it in the thing. Okay, he said okay. There you go. Throw it in the hat.
Larry, we're going to get you a new
Throw it in the
hat.
hat. You're going to buy him a new one.
Just get you another one, Larry.
Right on the side. In green. You have a green one? To Big Apple.
Big Apple.
Uba!
Okay.
I just bought his hat. Isn't that great? See? She made your day, right?
Nice,
So there you
there
go.
you are.
And I still have it.
No way.
Yeah, so there you go. Actually,
So-
I think the agent called me up a few days later and said, I think Larry wants his hat back.
Oh, no.
I said,
Was that
sure,
really?
no problem.
That
but
wasn't
they haven't
screen
found,
used
he
or
hasn't
anything, was
finished
it?
it yet. So there you go. So I wanted that to stay as a staple of the Big Apple. And this will be there. We want to say thank you to Larry Storch for coming to Big Apple and all that cool stuff.
Now, did you
So-
enjoy that show when it was on?
Oh yeah, I used to watch every sitcom religiously. Bewitched, That Girl. I loved That Girl.
That
You
Girl?
know, I loved Rona Martin's Laughing.
Oh, yeah.
And then Saturday mornings, of course, with all the cartoons and everything else. Which, by the way, that's the next thing. We want you to send in some of your favorite cartoons, and we're
you?
going to show them, just like old Pee Wee Herman used to do. We're going to have a little cartoon moment on the show, I believe. And my
we?
favorite happens to be Pismo Beach. Bugs and Daffy looking for
Must have
Pismo, and
taken
they
a
find the.
long term at Albuquerque.
This is great. This will bring good 2 bits on the open market. And the genie of the desecrated the genie of the lamp. Uh-oh. Okay, so anyhow. Deal of the, what's in the box?
What's
part
in
of
the
the day.
box?
Here we go. So now this is really interesting today. Okay, what's
is
in the box?
sports-related, and I
Sharon,
have
can
a
you bring
story
me the
about this
box,
guy.
please? How about that? That'd be great. We have something actually really special. So Royal Collectibles, okay, in Queens. Middle Village, Queens, is that where they are?
Yeah.
I actually have him on the phone. Hello, Mike from Royal Collectibles. How are you?
Take the phone.
Hey, so where exactly is Royal Collectibles? What's the actual address to your store?
We're in Forest Hills, Queens.
Forest Hills, of course.
Metropolitan.
That's the drawer. I need the box. Where is that? What is that address again?
9601 Metropolitan Avenue.
Right,
Okay.
96 of Metropolitan Forest Hills. Okay, great. So you and I bought a 19. Hold on, I'm going to open the box, and here we go. Look, okay, shiny, shiny, shiny. What have we got? We have the 1986.
No, not 86.
Yes, it is. Is that not 86? Fleer basketball.
That's 86.
There you go.
86.
Okay, unopened pack with the possibility of a Michael Jordan rookie. And you and I talked about it, and we said, what the heck? We actually have 2 packs. One is on sale in your store. And what's the price? $750?
Yep.
We'd negotiate a little bit. And you and I decided that as partners on this, we would open one of these on camera. Is that correct?
Let's see what happens.
Now, I also said that we might give Anthony a shot to buy into it if he wants. We put a price. We put a bottom price. I think we had $750. We discounted it $100 at $650. Would that be acceptable if somebody came and bought the other pack?
That's fine.
So if you want to buy in at $650, you can buy your third. Okay, time is ticking. Yes, no. What do you want? You
Well,
want
how many packs are we opening?
1 pack? That's it. This pack right here. I couldn't
So
open
you
more if I
want me to
wanted
buy
to.
the whole thing
Do you know
and then
you
I'm
buy
like-
into it a third? 1/3 of the money.
For $650?
No, 1/3 of $650. That would be
Oh, okay,
$217.
Now, how many cards in
I'm
the set,
starting to
Mike?
open it. 12 cards. What's the card set, Mike? Is it 132?
132.
132, right? Okay.
And how many cards
Here
in
it
the
is,
pack?
guys. Oh my God. There's 12 cards in the pack, and it says it right on it.
So it's
This is going to be
supposedly
tough.
maybe
I'm not
a
really
1 in
sure
10
how to
chance.
open it. It'd be great if we couldn't figure it.
Wow. This is how not to open a card set. Wow.
Okay, there you go. Oh, I did it. Hold on. Wow, there you go. Whoa, you can hear that coming a mile away. Okay, now this is the hard part. Now we're at
Let me see that one.
There it
Oh,
is.
there it is.
Yes, it is open. That is how you open a graded. This was graded. Mike, what is that's PSA, correct?
Yep. So it was a PSA 6.
6 point. What is it? What does the PSA stand for? Actually, good question, huh?
All sports authenticators.
Sports authenticators. Okay, great. So here we go. We have the
So-
pack. I am ready. Hold. I
you
am
ready?
ready. Yep,
Have
I
we
am
done-
ready.
Have we done a deal yet?
Oh, no, have you
just
said
run
anything? The
over me
time
all the
bomb is up.
time.
Your offer expired.
All right,
Unless
fine.
you don't want. Unless you want in. $217 if
wash
you
your
want in on a
hands?
third. I did not wash my
217?
hands. I still got candy, but I think it'll be okay.
Do you want me to
Who
Oh
open
did I
it?
no.
pay, 217?
What's
My
that?
hands are clean.
217. Are you in for a third?
Wait a minute.
My hands are clean. I'll open
That's it. We don't have time to do this. As soon as it opens, the deal's off. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no?
217, I'm in.
Okay, he's in. Uh-oh, Mike. We have a third
Wait a
party
minute,
in.
I have a...
That's okay with you?
Mike?
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome, you're in. 217,
All right.
here we go. It's now open. Okay, first card. Isaiah Thomas. Is that a rookie, Isaiah Thomas? No.
No.
That is Isaiah Thomas's rookie.
There you
Is
go.
it?
We have an
Oh,
Isaiah
yeah.
Thomas rookie. Now, besides the Michael Jordan, there are other rookie cards. So, the deal with this pack is, okay, we're going to make this really,
has
really
gum.
sweet. The deal,
It
if
has
you want to
gum.
eat the gum,
It does have gum.
I
I'll
wouldn't.
eat the gum.
It's sweet.
1986, you want
So
it?
there are other rookies. Mike, what are the other
Sure.
rookies in this pack?
Are you gonna
It
have
could
it?
be there. What are the other rookies that are in there, Anthony?
Elijah
Don't eat the gum.
Wan.
Desirable cards.
Elijah one?
Isaiah Thomas is already one of those.
Oh, how nice.
Okay.
As you're talking, Dominique Wilkins.
Yeah, Dominique.
Wilkins is in there too?
Yeah, it's a little off center. I can see from the back, but there you go. Oh, nice.
Dominique is actually one of the best ones ones.
Yes!
You want me to
Yes,
show it?
we're ahead of the curve, baby.
So we got.
This is the fun of collecting. It's
Oh
the
my
same thing
God.
when you walk into somebody's house.
Don't yell so much.
It's the same. You never know what they've got. That's why I love to go to the collectors' places.
You want me to
Okay.
show it to the camera?
Yeah, you gotta be so
My
careful with
hands
these.
are-
I've already
You've already
probably.
destroyed it.
Oh, actually, the Isaiah
Ah.
Thomas is the.
1986.
It's not the
go.
card.
Oh, it's a
Why are you eating that? That's kind of crazy. Careful with the pack, please. And that box is valuable, so careful with the pack. The wrapper is worth something. So here we go. Wrappers are good.
new collector wrapper.
Oh yeah, positively,
now.
Mike. Steve Johnson, you need a spittoon. Okay, we'll get you a spittoon for the next episode. Manuel Bowl, Manute Bowl,
Manu Ball. Yeah,
Larry
he's kinda
Nance.
interesting.
Oh, I'm getting excited. Okay, are we halfway there yet?
Larry Nance.
Sam Bowie. Oh, he was a good player
Well,
for a while.
You know the controversy.
What was the controversy?
He was.
Hold
picked-
on, what did you say, Mike?
Can you?
Sam Bowie was drafted before Jordan. He was like the #1 or #2 pick.
No, he was. Elijah Wan was number 1. Sam Bowie was number 2. That was the big controversy. That he was picked before Jordan.
Okay, we're halfway there.
Right on.
Calvin Nat,
Well, for Sam though.
Joe Barry Carroll. So the one card we've got here is the Dominique Wilkins,
Norm Nixon.
Norm Nixon,
Longtime
Tom
point guard.
Chambers,
He was a big center for
Charles
Seattle.
Oakley.
Charles Oakley's good. Was that his rookie?
Card, too.
That's a rookie, right? I knew that. All right, here we go. We've got 2 cards left and 3 cards.
Number 57, Michael.
Maurice Cheeks
Maurice
and
Cheeks.
Akeem Olajuwon.
Well, Keem's good.
Oh, and that's a nice one. Okay.
Keem.
Yep. So we've got Akeem. All right. That's why this is a great set because it's packed with rookies. It's really, really good. And literally every pack is no Michael Jordan rookie. I'm a little disheartened. I'm glad we got your 217 in there.
To get
Okay,
That
so
helps with.
Jordan and Thomas in one pack.
Yeah, but the Thomas, unfortunately, Mike, I made a mistake. It's the sticker. It's not the card.
Oh, that was a sticker. Thomas.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So there you go.
all right, so
We've
but,
got.
I mean, you have the Hall of Famer.
Plus, we'll get, if they look good, we'll get those cards graded anyway.
Okay, so is that maybe $500 worth of cards rather than the $650, $700 the pack is worth?
I hope so. Let's see.
You hope so. So in other words,
Let me see.
it probably wasn't the
Let me
most
see.
positive
Damn it.
financial thing going forward, but nevertheless, we've done it. We have another pack, and you and I can decide if we want to open it and go for broke for the next episode.
Mike, if we really want to grind a little harder, even the common cards in that set is so widely collected that if you can pull a 10 on just any random
Really?
card,
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take all these cards and we're going to send them in and we're going to grade them and we're going to show you what the difference in value as to selling the pack would have been and what the distance is. So we're going to take those and we'll let Mike send them in and we'll take it from there. That's great. Thank you very, very much, Mike.
You want me to
all
tell
right?
my Michael Jordan story?
Yes. Okay, we're going to say goodbye to Mike, Royal Collectibles. And what's the address of Royal again, Mike?
good night, everybody. That's Royal Collectibles out in Queens, 9601 Metropolitan Avenue.
9601 Metropolitan Avenue, Forest Hills, Queens.
Thank
My
you.
home turf, where my
Thank
original
you.
comic store was. Thank you, Mike. Thanks for rolling with this. See you soon.
Bye.
Hey, they're out there in TV land, Mr. David. Catch. There you go.
Wow, that gum was horrible, and so was that
Well,
pack
have some
opening.
candy
But
to
Okay.
Get that
so, no, well, the good thing is that you got the number 1 pick, you got the number 2 pick, and you got some other first rounders that have become like
So there you
that
go.
were really good
Okay.
players. So I have a Michael Jordan story.
Okay, great.
When I was
Does it come with a basketball?
When I was an advertising photographer, I got hired to shoot him for Wheaties. So I got to fly out to Moab, Utah, and take pictures of Michael Jordan on top of one of those buttes, because they wanted the color scheme of those buttes to be like the crispy, same color as Wheaties flakes, right? So the thing is that I was doing still pictures, and the motion picture camera was trying to do it too, but Michael, was not easy to work with. So, and I told that same story at NBA Entertainment one time, and I got banned from them. So
There you go.
now we're in the shadow of NBA Entertainment, and I have my
Excellent.
own show. So, sing it.
Far out. Excellent.
All right.
I have no Michael Jordan stories.
Well,
but,
I have another Michael Jordan story
uh-oh.
because
Here we go.
when I was playing basketball,
2
in
Jordans
high
and a
school-
basketball.
Let me tell you this Michael Jordan story. I was playing basketball at University of North Carolina at their players' gym, and I was on the same team as James Worthy and Michael
I
Jordan.
love James Worthy. He
Yeah.
was the coolest on
Yeah,
the
right?
Lakers, man.
Right.
I loved him. I
So-
thought he was Mr. Cool all
I
the
was
way.
on his team, and Jordan and another player was on. Maybe it was Sam Perkins, the center. But I was underneath the basketball goal, and I was jumping up for a rebound, and I could dunk really well. And this is what I saw. I saw this. If you can get this, all right. This is what I saw. This is me, and I'm jumping as high as I can, and I see Michael Jordan just take the ball out of the air and just dunk it right over my head.
Oh, excellent. Really? You got dunked by Michael Jordan?
I got dunked on by Michael
That's
Jordan.
great. That's awesome. I love that.
And then I realized that there was a whole nother level of athleticism because my shoulder was in his crotch, and this guy's head was by the rim, just ramming it. And,
Interesting.
you know who the other player was on the other team? That's right. I just remember it was Lawrence Taylor.
Oh.
So I used to check Lawrence Taylor all the time and play when we played against each other. Because I played football too, and I used to body him up, you know. Knocked me
Far
down
out.
a couple times. He only knocked me down once.
smash,
now-
right?
So
yeah.
that's interesting. You know, there's a connection between, a little bit of a connection between sports and collectibles. Who is that basketball
of course.
player that collects, that was at the comic shows a few times?
Oh,
On the Nets, right? Or
yeah.
is Blake, when the Griffiths?
No, not the Griffin.
Okay, I forget, but
not
anyhow,
yet.
there's a couple of basketball players that collect, and we're going to do that as a theme, sports and collectibles, or sports and comic books. So we're going to do that as one of our themes and connect it. But
got
there's a
traded to
more
the Lakers.
there's a more interesting connection that I feel is important. Same as my Guy Thanos theory, is rock and comics, rock and roll and oh, by the way, have you noticed I'm wearing an original 1974 Who Quadrophenia t-shirt. I took it out of its original plastic bag, and for the first time, I think it was never used, I am wearing it, which is actually the first concert that I ever saw from the Who, the Quadrophenia tour in 1974. Yeah, I actually got thrown out of the concert. They thought I was the guy with the fireworks, but I was actually only the guy with the smoke bombs.
Okay. Well,
And I actually snuck my way back into the concert afterwards. This is those days you could do it. I was scalping tickets. I had made thousands and thousands of dollars selling tickets for the concert, and all my friends were in the concert. So I snuck back in. They kind of hid me in the middle of the row. Well, and they didn't find me again to get me out. But nevertheless, rock and comics. So they both...
You didn't tell the part where they beat you up in the elevator.
Well, they did
was
that too. Yeah, they beat me up in the elevator, but I got back in. So anyhow, 1963, 64, 65, the explosion of rock and roll. I mean, I was just talking to our friend Chris earlier, and he was telling me about Bobby Vinton one day, and the next you have the Beatles a month later, and it just happened in 63. So comics, just like the comics, the explosion of the Marvel world, it changed everything in the comics. You know, these superheroes with super problems. You know, the Hulk's rage issues, and, you know, Thor is a god, and a dentist by day, and Spider-Man with all his teenage angst and other things. But that was the, you know, and the colors that Marvel used, the same as you have the electric and the guitars and the sound. It was just, I really feel that's important and interesting in the context of pop culture. So we're going to explore that a little bit more going forward with people and with music. And there's a lot of connections between music and comic books and comic book songs. We're going to make a whole list of all the songs. And I always love whenever I hear Superman or Green Lantern, Ain't Got Nothing on Me. Was that Jim Croce song? Or no, is it that A Donovan song, I think, right? And all these, the Chicago did a song, comic books and baseball cards. You know, there's all kinds of cool connections to comic books and Iron Man, which actually had like Black Sabbath.
That's a theme that we
And
want to
Marvel
explore,
actually
but you
really
won't let
took
me
that.
talk.
They really took that rock idea and they used it with the rock and roll going forward.
So that's the theme we want to explore later,
Yeah.
is musicians that are really into comics, and we have a connection with getting guests. Maybe, you know, we won't talk about them.
Alice Cooper would be great.
Yeah.
He's somebody I want to have for my next show. Big Apple in March 9th and
who's
10th.
the biggest
I'll be calling his
collector?
agent right away.
Who's the biggest collector we know that as a music superstar is Gene Simmons. You
Oh
know
yeah,
that.
that's right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You can't get Kiss art because
actually-
Gene Simmons kept all the Marvel Comics Kiss art.
I actually sold comics to him not knowing who he was years ago.
Well,
he
when
loves
was out
Captain
of
America.
out of makeup, and that was before they came out. No?
Way back. Okay, so now we have the deal of the day, don't we? Going down.
We have my friend
Speaking
Chris.
of rock and roll,
Come on in,
and comic
Chris.
books, and things, and all kinds of cool stuff.
Welcome to the show.
Hi. Who is this we have here?
This is Chris, my friend Chris Pomerini. He's a musician.
Here, I'll help
and
you with that,
teacher,
Chris. Perfect. There you go.
And a comic collector and
Have a
art
seat here,
collector.
Chris.
Just sit down. Come on in. Come on in.
We're playing musical chairs. Musical sofas. Here you go. Oh, look at these comics. Whoa.
It's all war.
War. Nice war comics. Wow.
Is
Okay,
that
there you
something
go.
collected? That looks like a flea market or a yard.
So why don't we make
sale
some room
find.
and put these comic books right here? We can
All right,
lay some
so
of them
tell
out.
us a little bit about yourself as a collector.
There you
Chris.
go.
I started collecting years ago, and I think my mother used to take me to Passaic comic book store in the late 60s.
Sick.
I was
Yes.
a kid,
We need the stick mic for you.
and they used to advertise in the back of
Hold that.
comic.
No, Chris, you hold it.
Oh, hold it. I'll be terrific.
Yay.
Be
You're
terrific.
always terrific, Chris.
All right. I just want to get the taste of that 40-year-old gum out of my mouth.
I was just going to ask you for some.
Oh my God, that was so horrible.
Here you go. We got lots of other candies
I
here.
actually I had to eat a packet of a Star Wars.
Can you hold this for me?
Yes.
Really? I actually made a bet with somebody. This is 1985 to eat an 66 pack of gum, and he didn't even wince. But he made $100 on the deal, so you know.
It tastes like,
Was that Oliver?
No, it was my friend Christopher Noda, who I started Big Apple Baseball with.
it was like eating dust.
Yeah, I guess.
Powdered
I'm not doing it. You guys can do it. But I like these comic books I see.
As opposed to
12-cent
snorting
comics.
dust.
So I got these.
At a yard
Flea
sale?
market. No, flea market up in Connecticut.
Okay.
I've been sitting on them for a while, and I'm always like, oh.
Can I look at this record?
Absolutely.
Ah, see now
there's
the
some-
record has a
there's
poster in it
deal with
usually,
that
right?
Record, yeah.
So let's see.
There's a poster or not
Oh, that's
a
the
poster?
key. Ah, and it has it. Cool. This came out the same month or weekend that the Carnegie Hall concert. It's actually the same producer of the Carnegie Hall concert created
Produced
this
that
Spider-Man
album,
record,
yes.
produced this album, right?
Sharon,
it has
can
this
you hold that
poster
up
in it,
for
which
us?
is super cool. It's just the cover.
But
And
what's also really cool
It's
is
a
this,
John Romita cover.
this
and
double-page
actually-
spread in it.
I knew this image. They just made a comic book and used this cover from it again. The one of the most recent Spider-Man.
You ever
Nice.
see that art?
No,
number
I'm not seeing that
789.
art, but
Very cool.
so that,
And the poster's in nice shape. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what's
I'm into
cool
this.
is you have a backstory with that guy because you bought his collection.
That's cool that it comes with a poster.
I
That's
did.
amazing.
I bought his collection of Carnegie Hall posters, and he had an original Spider-Man outfit that was worn by one of the creators on stage. Was it Roy Thomas or somebody from the?
Roy says that wasn't his, and
Right.
it's
And you
gone
had
miss-
it.
I had
And-
it, and it's gone missing.
And there we go. So, if
So
anyone
there is a current reward for that Spider-Man costume.
But
I'll
there were
pay
lots of cool things.
$1,000 to get it back.
All right, so Chris, this is interesting. I love this record. Tell us more about your collecting world and what you've.
Well, I started with comics. At one point, I had Spider-Man 1 through 100. I would
Yes.
buy them at Passaic Bookstore for $5-10
Pennies.
within the like the
Passaic
the
bookstore. Whenever I
first
would go
10
there, man.
issues. I think I bought number 10 for $6.
Yeah.
You know.
They always had the old stuff on the wall, right? They had it on the wall,
Yeah.
almost like on hooks or something, or it'd be lined up in the back.
Yeah.
And the comics would be like this sideways and
Well,
piles.
I went there so much they used to let me.
You were on a hook.
There you go.
They used
Still
to-
on the hook.
They used to let me go through
on
the
hook,
basement,
On the hook.
and I would find like I'd
Oh.
look through boxes, and there'd be like a new comic, and then right behind it would be
A golden
Superman 32.
Right, a golden
You know,
age, yeah.
It tickles the one with the and I'd be like, Shh,
Oh,
what do
that
you want for
tickles
this?
the
I
lightning
don't know.
cover? I
Yeah.
love that cover.
Yeah.
That's a great
Oh, that's
like-
funny. I didn't know that. The Tickles cover. That's
But
great.
didn't you buy them out when they were closing?
Yeah, I did. I bought out a lot of the New Gods and Forever People, all the
Wow.
fourth world Kirby stuff. I bought boxes and
How
boxes.
many truckloads
Truckloads.
did you take out of there?
2 or 3.
Oh, has
Wow.
to be.
Yeah,
Like
it was pretty cool.
semis,
They had a
right?
lot of stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Semis.
Oh, no, not semis. They were big trucks, like 24 foots.
24
foots,
foots,
300
that's
boxes,
enough.
probably about 1,000 boxes. Passaic
Yeah.
was super cool, man.
That was neat. They
Where
used to
else did you go to
advertise
buy
it.
comics?
That was really mainly
That was it,
where
right?
I went. Yeah.
Now, you're a professional musician. Did you feel like comics and rock and roll and your music, did that
yeah.
intertwine? Or is that two separate things in your
No,
head?
no, it's the whole pop culture thing, and then it did cross over because actually I was listening to the White Album, which is 50 years old.
The Beatles' White Album,
Yeah,
that is, right?
this
For all
year,
those
yeah.
out there who
For
don't
all
know
us
it. There you go.
non-Beatle people. And actually, I was listening to "I'm So Tired," and he mentions Captain Marvel punched him right between the eyes. That's one of the
No, I
lines
didn't
in
know
it.
that.
Yeah,
He
so
uses that
far
here a
out.
lot?
yeah,
Really? Oh, that's
No, there's
another
a lot
okay,
of-
we're making a list.
there's a lot of crossover stuff.
In
yeah.
90 days after the San Diego Comic Book Convention, which is in June, that's 60 days away, we have a
July.
list of every song that has collectibles. We're going to keep composing it
July.
going
All right,
forward.
you're going to find
I
a
think that's
large
super
list.
Cool.
I guarantee you're going to find
That's
a huge
super
list.
cool. That's
and then you
great.
had the Beatles in the early Fantastic
Marvel.
Four comics. And,
Now, was he referring at 68? So the Marvel Captain Marvel
Strange
kind of just
Tales.
came out. He must have been referring to the earlier Captain Marvel.
The Shazam
Probably, yeah.
Captain Marvel.
Now,
Yeah.
in Britain, there was a Captain Marvel, right?
No.
Or that was Marvel Man.
No, it's Marvel Man.
But
yeah.
Right?
he said Captain Marvel.
Yeah, so that's really interesting.
And then if you
Oh,
watch,
Magneto and Titanium Man, he was a comic book fan, Paul McCartney, right? Later on.
right, and then if
Yeah,
you watch
with wings.
Help, Paul was playing the organ in one of the scenes in Help, and instead of sheet music, he's got all comic
He's
books.
got comic books, remember?
That's great. Oh, we have to find that scene and show it on the episode
Yeah,
thing.
that'd
show
be
it on
awesome.
our show.
Do
Yeah,
you remember
that's
any
great.
of the comics that they were showing on that?
I think they were all. They look like
DCs.
Yeah,
I remember
think so,
DCs.
yeah.
I remember Batman's.
Yeah.
Right? He had him on the sheet
Had him on
music
that
cap
organ that
holder,
rises
right?
up out of that crazy
That's
room
cool.
they all lived in. Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
looking
so-
through an old Playboy recently, and there's one of the Playboy girls has got. She's reading the, like Tales of the Unexpected. I just found that. I'm like, great. I'm gonna put
That's
that on and
awesome.
show it to
Well, that would
everybody.
mean, if
So-
you actually landed her, that would be a tale of the unexpected.
Got any gum, Anthony?
Yes,
You got
I
any go?
did.
Yeah. So tell us more about your. How'd you get this box of comic books?
I go up to Connecticut. There's a great flea market up there, way up
really?
in near Stores, and it's an old drive-in. And there's always somebody with a box. It always seems
the
like
one Marvel in the bunch.
somebody always has a box of comics. when I
Somebody,
go there.
where's this flea market? I gotta go now.
I'm
Oh,
at-
tell us your
it's,
secret.
down south somewhere.
Yeah, there you go.
It's up near Stores near Yukon.
Brim, by the way, speaking of flea markets, up north or in Connecticut, Brimfield, Massachusetts is starting this weekend.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's
on the
it's
present,
7
honey.
miles. The whole town of Brimfield, Massachusetts turns into a flea market. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you ever do the 450-mile garage sale?
No, but I want to do that.
I've
When
done that.
is that? Is that coming up in June?
I did that once. And
Did you?
after a while, you start to realize, I mean, I could be wrong, but how is it possible that every house has something amazing to sell?
Had something stuff.
So
I've heard
after a
this.
while,
What
you
is
start
it?
to
It
say,
goes through
I'm
Tennessee
thinking-
and
yeah, I did it. And after a while, you say, this has to be like antique dealers renting people's lawns, which is still a cool thing. But then you would hit legitimate ones, and then you're like, okay.
Well, they
and you
probably
find
store
stuff, and
up.
you
They
find
store
things,
up.
right? You
or
find
they-
things everywhere.
Oh my God, I came home with like
All right.
trumpets and dial
We got to
phones
research
and-
this, Sharon.
Wow.
Anthony
But now-
and I need to make the road trip
You,
on
that
that
would be
450
amazing.
miles. And if
I'd
we're
be
not going to do it
interested in
this year,
doing that.
next year we're going to do the whole thing.
I'll sit in the back seat and play
And you
songs.
want that? We're going to do a
Yeah.
remote from that. If it ain't this year, we'll start it off a little bit this year. I'm going for
This
sure.
would be like our
you got me
Burning Man of
reignited on that. I've
collectibles.
wanted to do
Or
that for
just
years.
It was the
And I had a
weirdest
friend of
little
mine,
thing
Manny
going
Maris,
on.
who promised that we were going to go and do it
Just
together.
going
Manny, where
on.
are you?
It's getting
Because he knows
frustrating.
all the ins and outs of that place. But yeah, that's
then
it
I
goes-
went-
How
we-
many, it goes through like 6 states or something
Yeah,
like that,
it's
maybe even
ridiculous.
more.
Yeah, I did it years
Into
ago.
Carolina, South Carolina, does it just
But I-
come in?
I think it's
Kentucky,
longer now, too.
Yeah. That's
But,
crazy.
we
We
veered
should bring
off
it
and
right
went
up to
to,
Munachi. Munachi.
Start
Yeah.
No, start from Munachi. Start from your warehouse and go
Yes.
down all
Or
the way.
end at his warehouse.
What's that?
No, start at your warehouse where
Yeah,
people have
start
money.
right. Either way,
Yeah.
end or start, whatever it is. Okay, so this is a cool
I
box
could,
of comic books.
I could supply about
we-
100 miles of
just-
those people.
So just to finish the idea of rockin' comics, like I, you know, that idea that in that '60s, that same time period, that was that explosion
It kind
of
I just thought it all went
people's
together.
imagination,
Yeah.
which is the word I was looking for before. That's the imagination of the times, even through the president. You know, Kennedy. You know, President John F. Kennedy gave us that boost of optimism at that time as a country.
Well, album covers were art too. And then if you think of it, okay, Big Brother was Robert Crumb cover.
Yeah, there you go,
know,
right.
there was just so
Big
much.
Brother Holding
There was so
Company.
much crossing over.
Janis
between-
Joplin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The girl who was here before us was singing an awesome version of Janis
really?
Joplin before. It was Ashley. She was really, really good. Shout out to Ashley.
I
Super
heard you
cool.
do an awesome version.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I
what
do that
Anthony-
in my sleep when I wake up.
That's what Anthony said.
That's how I gargle.
All right, so what are you thinking on the
Shane.
box of comics? Because we got
so
to
we're competing against this, right, Anthony? You and I are
Sure.
competing. Okay,
All right.
great.
Let me see.
I mean, they're not bad shape, so.
It's about 200 of them.
GI Combat
And that includes these. That includes the record and this little.
Yeah, I'll throw in the
and this
record,
little
too.
Spitfire comic. I noticed there was a Spitfire comic here. Right. This is an old pocket comic book that they have from. It's actually a Harvey. Kind of cool. Had a price on. Not great shape, but it's a 10-cent comic. Look at this small
it's a
little
10
tiny
cent
comic book. Isn't it
It's
super
a
cool?
10-cent comic because it was
Yeah.
undersized,
Right,
was
but
a
no, it's from the
smaller
40s.
version.
That's from the 1940s.
Oh no, that's the 41 version.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, 46 or something like that. I think maybe it's 41.
No, it says
Haunted
41.
Tank. This is one of the cool ones. Okay, great. I'm in. I'll start with $100.
I'll do a 1 1/4.
150. 175. I'm up. I up my own bid. There you go. And that includes this stuff. I'm in if you want.
I'll do 200.
It's probably a good deal. But if Anthony wants it, he has the warehouse and he has the way to get these
Yeah,
really
see, this
sold
is the
best.
kind of stuff I put up in lots
Yeah.
on my eBay store.
Yeah, so
And,
there you go. This will
by-
work for you in your warehouse. But
by
I'd
the
probably
time
buy
here.
it for 175 and sell it to you for 200. So there you go. Okay, it's yours. You own it.
All right.
How
great.
about letting him make the decision?
No,
Oh,
no,
I'm sorry.
no,
I'm bidding more. I apologize. If you,
You know,
wanted-
in case if you
there's
don't
a
know,
third
Mike is
bidder
also
out
a
there
mind
who would
reader.
like
out
to buy
there.
it for more.
No, actually, that's the price I was hoping.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll do 2.
I'm
you
fine
know.
with that.
I have to get you your.
I'll put your stuff
your
back.
gas and money,
Nice and
toll
neat.
money
Money
back.
gun.
Oh yeah.
I still
The
think
money
we
gun.
should tell the story about how.
Wow. Hey, where's the real money?
I know, we have to.
I have it over here.
It's
Okay,
close.
great. This fake stuff is no good. I have some stuff to sell you too. When we're oh look at that, it's that in the hat. Perfect. Perfect
you want
Okay,
timing.
the,
now. But you brought a piece de la resistance, your pride and joy of
Ooh.
your collection, to show me and see if we can work something out.
It's possible.
It's possible?
And also, it's an upcoming new.
Oh,
TV
yeah,
show.
It's a hot TV show.
gonna
Yeah,
be
I
on
want to
TV
put this
show.
away
And
and
let
me
Anthony's
grab
pile
them.
of stuff.
Yeah.
I'll
Thank
put
you very
this,
much. It's
What's
heavy.
interesting
You got
is,
it?
I got it.
Okay, great.
What do you got? You're gonna go get it?
I'm just getting right there.
Okay,
Okay,
great.
go get it here.
And
Hand me
while
the
he
mic.
gets it, we're gonna dig into the candy dish. I got something here that I always used to love. Here we go. This is the Bonomo Taffy. So when
No,
I was
no,
a
you
kid,
can't eat
the
taffy
deal
on the
the
camera.
deal with the Bonomo Taffy is
No.
you had to crack it. There's no way. There was no way you could eat this without cracking it.
Okay.
It's got to be seriously cracked.
I want to see
Otherwise,
this art. This I don't care
Okay.
about.
And this is
Please.
the stuff that'll really break your
Please
teeth
don't
up.
eat that
See?
on camera.
It comes out.
Oh my
It's
God.
delicious.
What is
It's
this?
I
horrible.
love this stuff.
What's a magic
Okay,
8-ball?
now it's time for a little art.
Now this is something for real here.
Yes, you are, sir.
So
Slipping and sliding.
last week, DC announced that they're developing a Swamp Thing television show, and they used an image that Bernie Wrightson drew. I think it was Swamp Thing 9, that one where he's coming up in the swamp. I think, and that's a really hot book right now. That made the top 10. Now, Bernie Wrightson
Swamp Thing
started
9
this.
is the start? Oh my God, I
Not
didn't
the,
know
not
that.
the start. No, they just used that image.
Piles of
So
Swamp Thing 9.
they just used the image, that classic Wrightson image.
Right.
Now, Bernie Wrightson did the covers and interiors until number 10, and then he left the book for some reason. Maybe to pursue his career in production, because he did leave to do a lot of production work, character and set design
You know,
work.
I asked him one time, and I can't remember what the answer was.
No, it was. No.
It was so
like
long ago.
the Ghostbuster movie, he did set design for that. That might have coincided with this. It's about the
Did he have the
same time.
studio with Barry Smith? And,
That was
and
before.
that was right before that, huh?
No,
Okay.
60s.
And
This is a
Kaluta.
little.
The studio
later.
went into the
Where'd your mic
70s.
go? Where'd your mic go?
Oh, right here. Here you go.
There we go.
Mike, I'm here.
I'm
Yeah,
back.
there's.
Can I look at this a little bit closer? This is absolutely incredible. Wow.
So that's
So what's cool about this is that this is the first cover that Bernie Wrightson didn't do. It's not
Number
way
11.
out of the range of what.
And it's a
most
20-cent
collectors
cover,
can
but
do.
it almost looks like it's bigger than the 20 cents in here. It's really nice.
Well, they used a little oversized stock at the time.
yeah,
DC.
yeah. It's not
Well,
that smaller,
so I
smaller
just saw
art.
that
Wow, is that
the
beautiful.
first cover, I think, is expected to fetch 150 grand.
For the
Yeah,
Swamp Thing
sure.
one, yeah.
One, yeah.
Okay, I can see that, because I was talking to Mike about it, and I said, like, the average rigmarole, one of the 10, any of those is like 75 grand. So I mean,
Right,
like any
they're
of
all
them.
up there.
So
And the
yeah,
Redondo
75
covers go pretty good,
75 to 150.
So are we
is-
bidding against each other on this one too?
Okay, well, what,
I have
all
a
right,
feeling you're
before-
going to beat me on this because
before
again,
you
that I
think-
definitely would sell to you if
all
I
right.
buy it. So
before you think you know, do you
I
know?
don't have.
Do you know how much money to throw? Do you know, Mike? Where
It's
would
a
you
beautiful
start it?
piece. Wow, I'm gonna let you
I think it's
start.
Luz
No,
Dominguez
where
you
would
guys
you
nice.
talk
start? I'm
about it.
curious. I'm curious.
It's beautiful. This is Luis Dominguez.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luis Dominguez, and I
didn't
have
I
a story
have-
about Luis Dominguez.
Tell me.
Unfortunately, at a certain point in the 90s, he became unmanageable, and he got thrown out of his apartment, and he told the sheriff's department guys, it's like, listen, don't throw this stuff away. It's art. It's valuable, as he walked down the street. Now, the sheriff department guys, they took those boxes and they resold the stuff. And that's why there's so many Luis Dominguez covers available in the New York metropolitan area. You know, Jonah Hex.
He's
all
not.
those
Is he still
Thor
around,
things.
Luis Dominguez?
I don't
I
know
think
if
I
he
thought he had
is.
a Big
I
Apple
think
at
he
a
is.
few points.
I think the guy I got this in the early '90s.
Right?
Whoa, you've
And
had this a while.
Yeah, I've had this forever. And the guy I got it from, I believe, bought it right from him.
This will be a
Okay,
nice
that's
profit
awesome.
when and if you sell it.
All right,
But
Well, you'll have
what
to
do
twist,
you,
you'll have to
it's
twist
gotta
my
be
arm, but
five
you never know.
figures, you know.
Go
Plus, it's got to be 10,000 plus. I'm not sure.
Well,
of
are
the
you
exact
ponying
value.
up 10,000?
No, I'm not ponying up on this
Then
one
why
yet.
are you just driving me up?
Well, because I
Anthony
know
was thinking 40
Yeah, I might
bucks.
do that. Yeah, if that's what I'm going to do.
You win.
Okay, great.
All right. Peel.
Okay,
Well, you have
fine.
to accept the offer. Are you really offering 10,000?
If that's what we're doing.
What do we mean? What are you doing? I mean, it's up to you to offer. If you're going to make that offer.
Sure. If that's it, I'm in for the dollar and for a dime. I got to buy everything I do. This is a real show. So there you go.
Don't you want it, Anthony?
Look at his face. Who slapped you?
This is really good.
It's amazing. I think
Is
it's his
it really
best.
good,
I think
really?
it's
I
his
mean,
best
it's
piece.
amazing.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing piece.
These
Would
are
you
real
sell
deals.
it for 10?
You know, believe it or not, probably it's like my favorite piece. I think if I
I
was
know
like
you've sold
ready,
me some great pieces. You
I've
sold
sold
me
you
those.
amazing
I remember one
pieces.
day you came to me and sold me 3 EC splashes that were amazing.
One of the
by
which-
Jack
Wow.
Davis, one by Graham Ingalls.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ghastly Graham Ingalls.
yeah. And,
I wasn't
Who was the
that's-
third one by? Was it Wood?
No,
EC Splashes. EC is the EC comic
oh.
company that was banned. Their
Johnny
comics
Craig.
were banned because they were so
Yeah, it was Johnny Craig.
nasty and scary and horrible. I mean,
All right, we're-
axes and chopped
actually,
heads
this
and
is
all.
I'm
the
gonna-
one
I
time
am
where
gonna
we're
think
kind of
about
running
this.
out of time because they
Oh,
wanna-
here we go. Yeah.
they-
So tick, tick, tick.
Oh boy, here comes
Uh-oh.
Bob.
Oh,
Are we ready? Are we making a deal?
hope
Am
I
I
don't have-
buying this, or are you making a better offer?
Or do you want to hold
Here
on
we
to
go.
it, Chris?
no, I'm gonna hold on to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really appreciate
Wow.
that offer.
Can you make him an offer he can't refuse?
I wouldn't want to go more than 10 right now. I mean, if you,
Why don't
if
you
you
beat it
said
by a
yes
little
to
bit?
10, I'd go partners with them and I'd sell it and we'd try to make
I
it
didn't
happen.
say I would be partners with you on that at 10K.
Well, you know what? Forget it then.
Can I
Really?
just show you real quick my my number 11?
Yes.
12, I mean.
Whoa,
But
is this one for sale possible?
I drew that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but we want to go out with your
Oh,
song.
this is great.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Look
All
at the
right.
number 12.
Oh.
Tell us about
Oh,
this.
wow. You did that
So
yourself?
wait a minute,
I
we
did
haven't
that.
finished on this. Is there an offer that we could say no to on this
sorry.
art?
He already did say no.
No,
Yeah,
but is
no.
there an offer that you would give us that we could refuse?
Nah, I'm gonna. It's
Really, for
my
right
favorite
now?
piece? Yeah. yeah.
Considering
Give us
it
your
know
going
what?
forward,
You want to go out
I had
with
to bring
your
it in just to
song.
see
would
what
you
would offer me.
consider showcasing this at the Big Apple convention in March of next year?
Absolutely.
If I had put insurance on it and
Oh,
all
yeah,
of that for people to come and take a look at it and really
Give me the
Absolutely.
Okay,
stick,
great.
Mike, and
Yeah.
go out.
go
Oh,
for it.
Let's
And
go
then maybe
out
by
while
that
you're
time
the
you and I can
song.
work out a price and we can make a small percentage on if it sells.
All right.
How's
Mike,
that?
we're
Okay,
gonna
Chris,
try
that
to-
sounds great.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay,
So-
Sharon. Wow, that's awesome.
All right. So Chris wrote a song for us.
Well,
Okay.
let's see how good it is.
All right. It's fun. I like it.
I love it.
Snyder man, Carbo man, do whatever a dealer can. Spin a deal any size. Have good stuff they will buy. Look out,
Hey there.
there comes the dealer man.
You. Wow, wow.
Comic art, comic books too. They got lots of collectibles, old and new. At the shop or a show or two, got stuff to sell, they'll come to you. Hey there,
I can buy
Snyder
anything
and
you want to
Carbo.
sell.
There you go, good.
Oh yeah.
It's a thrill to
On the
buy
deal.
all neat stuff day and night. The expertise.
I need
inside
stuff.
what
I
the
can't
price
get enough,
will
can't
buy.
get enough of that neat
Snyder
stuff.
man, Carbo man, friendly neighborhood dealer man. Got the comics you're looking for. Make you happy is their reward each day. You know and you'll never know what sprang up. Comic and art to hang up. Snyder and Carbo man.
All right. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. And we'll see you next week. Same place, same time from live Secaucus, New Jersey.
Jersey.
Yeah.
Deadpool next week.
Sell us
Oh, yeah.
more comics and
Riley
collectibles.
Brown.
That's great. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Awesome.